All right, hello. So in this lesson, we are going to talk about maximum and minimum values of quadratic functions. Our learning targets are right here. As we get going today, I want you to give me your best estimate as to how many fluid ounces that vase on the right there holds. Okay, so last time you saw this graphic, it was also in the folder for you to download. Once again, vertex in standard form. Vertex, the A value controls whether it opens up or down. Remember, a happy parabola or sad parabola. So happy parabola, if you're positive, you're feeling happy. If you're negative, you're feeling sad, frowny face. That doesn't change for a standard form. That is the same. We talked about the axis of symmetry and the vertex, how we find that in vertex form and in standard form. So we talked about these things as well. Really, we didn't get to finding the y-intercept. In order for you to find the y-intercept in vertex form, you have to do a bunch of algebra. Okay. However, in standard form, it's pretty easy. You just look at the c value, which is this right here, and that is where it crosses the y-axis. That's your y-intercept. So that's kind of nice. So we're going to use some of these pieces that we've learned to help us graph. Okay, so consider this function y equals 2x squared minus 4x plus 5. First thing we're going to do is determine whether the graph opens up or down. Okay, and up means up is this, down is this. Okay, so in this case, how do you do that? Well, you're going to look at your a value. Remember, if it's positive, it opens up. If it's negative, it opens down. It's positive, so it's a happy parabola, looks like that. So it opens up. Find the vertex. Oh, no, find the axis of symmetry, part B over here on the right. So we need to do that first anyways. So let's do that. X equals opposite of B. So B is negative 4, so I'm going to write positive 4 over 2 times A. Just using that formula, right? So I get x equals 4 over 4 or 1. X equals 1. Okay, this is my axis of symmetry. Now we are going to graph this on here. All this we're going to graph. So I'm going to do this as we go. So x equals 1, vertical line at 1. And I'm just going to draw this in here. I'm going to have it dashed. But I'm just going to do that. Oh, it's a little larger than I'd like there. Okay, so this is my axis of symmetry. And I'm just going to put that in there, like I said, dashed, so I know that that's an axis of symmetry. Okay, the vertex. Now, what am I going to do to find the vertex, right? Once you know what the axis of symmetry is, you know the vertex is on that same point. So this means I'm going to put 1 in for x. So 1 is going to go in here and here. So y equals 2 times 1 squared minus 4 times 1 plus 5. Okay. All right, so if I do that, I get 3. Okay, so my vertex then is 1, 3. Okay, so now let's see. On here, we're going to plot that point, 1, 3. Okay. Now the y-intercept. Okay, the y-intercept is your this is your c value, so it's this number right here. So it's 5. Okay, so on the y-axis then I'm going to find 5 and make a dot. Okay. Now, how do I need more than 2 points to make a quadratic function, right? So I guess I should write y-intercept equals 5. Okay, now we're going to graph this. Well, the last thing I have to do here, because this is the axis of symmetry, remember this point right here, that red point, is going to get reflected or flipped across this purple line. So if I do that, it's going to flip across and give me another point right here, 1 unit away from there. So it's symmetrical. And now I'm just going to connect these with a smooth curve, or a little bit smoother than that maybe. And I've got my quadratic function. I've just graphed it. Okay, I hope that makes some sense. All right, now maximum and minimum values. So the minimum or maximum value is the y value of the vertex. So if you can find the vertex, you can find the maximum or minimum. You already know how to find the vertex, so this shouldn't be that hard. We really just have to figure out which one is a maximum, which one is a minimum, and then go from there. So let's talk a little bit about that. So it's a maximum. The vertex is a maximum if it's the highest point. So notice when the graph opens down like this, the vertex will always be the highest point. So then it's a maximum, okay? If the vertex is the lowest point, like this one, then it's a minimum, okay? And that will always happen if the graph opens up. So the first thing you're really gonna have to do is determine, does it open up or down? And then you can tell what's going on. So this one opens down, so that means the vertex is the highest point. This one opens up, so that means the vertex is the lowest point, okay? All right, and then you just have to find the vertex, which you already know how to do. So here's how this works. State whether there is a minimum or a maximum value of the function and identify it. So our function is f of x equals negative 16x squared plus 36x plus 4. Okay, so you're going to start out by saying, here is my a, right? That means because a is negative 16, this means this graph opens down. So the vertex is going to be right here. This will be the highest point. So we already know just by looking at the a value that this will be our maximum, okay? So now we are going to find the maximum, okay? So let's see. You're going to start by doing x equals opposite of b, so negative 32 over 2 times a. Okay, so we're trying to find the vertex. So here this would give me negative 32 over negative 32, which is 1. All right, cool. Now we're going to find the y value. Okay, now you're going to plug in okay, and get your answer. Okay, so this is negative 16 times 1 squared plus 32 times 1 plus 4. Now, the best way, you can just type this into your calculator exactly how you see it. Once again, I seem to be having some issues with this, so we'll go with that. Okay, so I'm just going to type in, let's see, negative 16 in parentheses 1 squared, don't forget the squared, plus 32 times 1 plus 4. That's 20. Okay. All right, so what does this mean? So now at the end, remember, if we go back here, it says it's the y value of your vertex. Well, we just found the y value. In other words, this really means how high or how low does the function go. Well, this function goes all the way up to 20. So I'm going to write, it's a maximum, so I'm going to write max is 20. And this is my answer. I've identified whether it's a maximum or a minimum, and I've found out what that value is, 20. Okay? So that's how you should always write your answer. All right, and you've just found the maximum or minimum. Okay, so now the reason we're kind of doing this is because there are lots of real-world applications to quadratics. So for example, anytime you have a projectile, like you hit a ball or you throw a ball or anything like that, it's going to be a quadratic function. So the height of a golf ball that is hit from the ground can be modeled by the function h of t equals negative 16t squared plus 96t, where h is the height in feet and t is the time in seconds. Okay? So what is the maximum height of the golf ball? Okay, so well, we know it's a maximum because, again, this, okay, is negative. So that means we're trying to really, like, a golf ball is hit, comes down, we're trying to find its max height, okay? So we're going to start by saying opposite of b over 2a. Now, normally that's x, right? In this case, x looks like it's been replaced with t, so t equals opposite of b over 2 times a. So this would be negative 96 over negative 32. Okay, so t, you're going to type that into your calculator. Let's see. That's 3, okay? So that means after 3 seconds, t represents seconds, after 3 seconds it gets to the highest point. So it only takes 3 seconds to get to here. Now we just need to figure out what is this height, right? Okay, so in order to do that, the height is equal to, let's see, negative 16 times 3 squared plus 96 times 3, and that's it. Okay, so let's see. Negative okay, I had to write that down so I could remember it. Negative 16 is 3 squared plus 96 times 3. Okay, 144. So this is the max height. Now I need to put the units on there. It says the height in feet. So 144 feet. So after 3 seconds, this golf ball reaches 144 feet. And that's my answer. Okay? Cool. Once again, this is a helpful slide if you need to reference it. But now what I'd like you to do is to work on your maximum and minimums worksheet. Don't forget to put that into your student assignment book, your planner. Write that in there and then check it off as you finish. All right, have a good one.